Hello, welcome to episode number 489 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, a incredibly packed SmackDown. Like, in real life, I would not have the time to do all of this on one show, but hey-ho, it's TEW. So yeah, we're coming off of Elimination Chamber, and we've got a new World Heavyweight Champion, Swerve Scott, thanks to The Rock, who's opening up tonight's show. I know you can feel the mana from that one. We're going to hear from, Queendom, from their defeat. We're going to hear from Swerve Scott after his championship win. And, Bianca Belair promised on Heat that her and Montez Ford are going to renew their wedding vows tonight, so that's exciting. Plus the start of the United States Championship tournament. And a whole lot more. So any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
The Rock makes his way to the ring. And he says, "Finally, The Rock has come back to SmackDown. And unfortunately, The Rock has come back to Columbus." Now see, Columbus, Ohio, a shithole of a city. The Rock doesn't want to get up because The Rock, he's got a lot of things to do. He gets up every single day and he trains because being the most successful movie star on the planet comes with its difficulties. But The Rock, he'll always have his ear to the ground of what's going on The Rock Show, SmackDown, the show named after The Rock. And what am I seeing? The Rock, member of the board here in WWE. And what does he see? The Rock comes here and he hears all about a jabroni by the name of... And the crowd's like, L.A. Knight. And he's like, yeah, that guy. L.A. Knight. All I heard while The Rock was gone, all The Rock heard was that this L.A. Knight guy, he's like a ripoff of The Rock. They called him The Rock. They called him Stone Cold Steve Austin. I call him L.A. Kiss Ass. And I see that you people are reading out of the hands of this L.A. goof. The people's hands. The Rock. The Rock's people have chosen L.A. Knight as The Rock's successor. You guys think that L.A. Knight is the people's champion? Well, let me tell you one thing. There is and there will only ever be one people's champion, and that is The Rock. So L.A. Knight can kiss his World Heavyweight Championship goodbye, just like he can kiss goodbye any opportunity he's ever got of being relevant on The Rock Show while The Rock runs things around here. Now, I know what you're thinking. If L.A. Knight was here tonight, he'd come down here and he'd smack the taste out of The Rock's mouth. But let me tell you, that ain't gonna happen, because that L.A. goof, he ain't gonna show up tonight, because he's got better things to do, like cry at home and kiss his wounds and cry into his piles of money that he's made ripping off The Rock's shtick over the last few years. LA Knight's music hits, and The Rock, he takes his sunglasses off, he's looking shocked at the ramp, and then the time passes, and we realise that we've been bamboozled. The Rock just starts laughing, he goes, it's a classic, The Rock has always wanted to try that one, but you see, The Rock never got the opportunity to try that one, because The Rock's theme music is the music that makes the people pop. But now this LA goof, who you ain't ever going to see on The Rock Show ever again, you think he's the people's champion? Well, I'll tell you this. There is no more people's champion on SmackDown, except for The Rock. And you don't have to accept it. You can look at The Rock and think, Rocky, what are you doing? What's changed? I'll tell you what's changed. You people have changed by anointing a Rock ripoff as the people's champion. And I'm on the board, I'm his boss. and I made him kiss that World Heavyweight Championship goodbye. Now Swerve Scott, that guy, he got lucky by being the one in the ring with LA Knight on that night. Because LA Knight got exposed for what he is on the night, and that's that he'll always be number 2 to The Rock. If you smell what The Rock is cooking. So yeah, pretty simple dickhead explanation from The Rock here, you know. Why are you cheering a man who does a lot of my shit? I'm The Rock, I'm the People's Champion, not LA Knight. And, you know, always wanted to do the theme music bamboozle bit, and I felt like the first Rock heel promo is, like, the best place to do it, because that's fun. We then get a quick pre-tape from the SmackDown co-GMs, Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. And Pearce like, yeah, it is our great pleasure to introduce to you the bracket for the United States Championship Tournament, where the winner will go on to wrestle Pistolero for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. Now, you see, with us being 2 co-general managers, this tournament is going to feature 4 of my guys and 4 of Pearce's guys. Or 4 of Aldis's guys, even. Tonight, we're going to see the 2 matches from my chosen competitors. Those competitors being the Samoan werewolf, free of the bloodline, off to prove that he can do things by himself. Jacob Fatu, he kicks off the tournament when he takes on the man who announced the tournament last week, the A-lister, The Miz. And also tonight, Tony D'Angelo of the D'Angelo family is going to go one-on-one with a former Intercontinental Champion, Angelo Dawkins. Alice is like, and of course, next week, my guys are going to be in action in this tournament, starting off with the man who's accompanying Daniel Bryan on SmackDown now, the mastermind, you could say, of the Dragon Dojo, Drew Gulak, as he takes on David Martin, the not-so-French Frenchman. And then, of course, we're also going to have Nebo Barnes of the Revolution, the breakout star, and you're saying, while, you know, Buster's away. And he's going to take on a hand-picked opponent of my choosing. Pierce is like, well, you know, come on, you know, it's WrestleMania United States Championship Tournament, you know, you can't leave the identity of this competitor a mystery. And Aldis goes, oh, it won't be a mystery for long because you're going to see him next week. First match of the tournament gets an 80. Jacob Fatu does win. He advances to the next round. He beats The Miz in 11:34 over Samoan drop. 78 for Jacob Fatu, 63 for The Miz. I think he will face it's either the other Pierce guy, so the winner of Tony D'Angelo and Angelo Dawkins, or it's David Martin or Drew Gulak. I believe. No, it's definitely the other Pierce guy. That's how I did it. So yeah, so he'll face the winner of Tony D'Angelo and Angelo Dawkins in the next round, which will probably be in 2 weeks' time, because next week is the Aldis side. Yeah, 78 for Jacob Fatu, 63 for The Miz. Big win for Jacob. He's been away for a while, and this did feel like a good place to reintroduce him, you know, just by himself, free of any bloodline shackles, just to see what he can do. We then cut to Chase U, a Chase U pre-tape. Andre Chase is sat, you know, at the podium, and Keith Lee walks in. Yeah, greetings and salutations, Mr. Chase. He goes, Keith, it's not greetings and salutations at all. He goes, what appears to be the problem here, Mr. Chase? He goes, it's the D'Angelo group, you know, they took out Bodie last week, and, you know, I've got their money here, pay for them, you know, but I'm starting to think about it all, and I think I was a bit too reactionary by hiring them to take out Dexter. Keith goes, you think? He goes, okay, shut it, Keith. Then the girls walk in. Okay, what's eating you, Mr. Chase? And he's like, it's this whole D'Angelo thing, I feel like I've put all of Andre Chase University in harm's way, you know, Bodie taken out, we don't know when he's ever going to come back. And then Adriana Rizzo does walk in, it's like, hey, no, quit your yapping, okay, I'm here on behalf of the Don's business, okay, you got the Don's money? And he goes, yeah, it's here. And he goes, great. Now, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. Tell your boy sorry about the leg. And, you know, if you stay out of D'Angelo family business, then this'll end here. But if you keep messing with D'Angelo family business, it's going to get a whole lot worse around here for y'all. Capiche? And he's like, yeah, capiche. And the Thea goes, "Oh my god, you can't let them talk to you like that, Mr. Chase. They broke Brody's leg. Okay, we've got to get our revenge on them." He's like, "Thea, it's fine. I'll handle it. Don't escalate the problem here. It's just you three. Three being Thea, Morgan, and Hams, because Haley Paul is working through an injury that she can't wrestle through. Go out there and, do Chase you proud tonight. Get a win." It's like, "You got it, Mr. Chase. We won't let you down." We then get, a pre-tape or like an earlier today video of the champs arriving. It's good to finally hold these championships. We shut up Io and Dakota on Saturday. We defended these championships on Monday. So life's good. Life's a good start when you're living champ life. Then Indy Hartwell and Persia Pearl walk up, and Persia's like, I'll see you're the new champions around here, but me and Indy, the fastest rising tag team here on SmackDown. Future tag team champions, if we do say so ourselves. Probably goes, well, you've all barely even on the same page. Like, me and Tegan have already been through hell and back to, get these championships. You two are barely on the same page because Indy's only just decided she's going to go along with your little game. So if you want to prove that you're a top tag team here on SmackDown, you fight us tonight. And if you can win, then you can get a championship match. And Persia's like, fine, deal, see you out there. And that match is next. Gets a 70. Tegan and Piper do win again. Tegan pins Indy with the Vulture Culture Destroyer in 7 minutes 12. 75 for Piper Niven, 78 for Tegan Knox, 56 for Persia, and a 62 for Indy Hartwell. And then, they celebrate, our queendom Judases, for lack of a better term, celebrating their championships. The fans still love them. When Utami jumps into the ring and lays them both out. Just her. No other members of Queendom in sight. And she just leaves them both laying. And then just walks to the back. Okay. We then get a quick segment. Oro Mensah's in a suit. Chikara's in like a dress because they are the co-masters of ceremonies for tonight's incredible vow renewal from the greatest married couple in the history of the WWE, Montez Ford and Bianca Belair. And they're just going over their lines, like they're practicing their lines. And Oro goes, "Hey, big night. We can't make this. We can't mess this up. And Candice LeRae just walks past in the background, sort of like stops and looks at him, dressed like head to toe, like to the nines. Like, she's dressed for, like, a big occasion as well. It's like, she just stands there and just laughs. She goes, "Hey, what are you doing here, you stupid woman? Get out of this business. This is not your business. This is none of your concerns." And Charles goes, "What's with the dress?" She goes, "Oh, I just heard it was a big night, that's all, Bianca and Montez, vow renewal, I remember my vow renewal, it was a big night. I've got a feeling it's going to be a big night tonight, so I dress for the occasion." And I was like, "Well, you're certainly not invited, so get out of our face." Candice like, "Hi, have fun tonight. Sure, it's gonna go well." She sort of just walks off. And then Oro just shakes his head and goes, "Stupid woman, stupid." The new World Heavyweight Champion, Swerve Scott, makes his way to the ring. Lord Bando by his side. Bronco Nima back. Lucian Price there. Because I know what you're all gonna say. I've played this scenario out in my head all week. Swerve, you got lucky at Elimination Chamber. Swerve, you shouldn't be standing here as the World Heavyweight Champion. Swerve, have you thanked The Rock for making you World Heavyweight Champion? So here's the situation. Okay, The Rock, yes, he may have been the special guest referee and he had his issues with LA Knight. And I was there to capitalize on him, but let's make one thing perfectly clear. I didn't win this because of The Rock. The Rock just so happened to help me win this. If The Rock wasn't there, I'd be standing here World Heavyweight Champion regardless. Now, it ain't my fault. My boss over there had issues with, the poor display of a World Heavyweight Champion that was parading around this brand before Saturday night. But have no fear, because whose house is SmackDown officially now? That's right. And so I see LA Knight's nowhere to be found. He got nothing to say to The Rock. He got nothing to say to me. So I stand here still, World Heavyweight Champion. And I'm gonna reign to WrestleMania and beyond. But let's talk about WrestleMania. Biggest show of the year, the granddaddy of them all. Lincoln Financial Field, 2 nights, Philadelphia. 80,000 people letting you all know whose house it will be that night. And it ain't LA Knight's house. It ain't The Rock's house. It's Swerve's house. But for me to make it to WrestleMania and defend my World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, then I guess I've got to find the right dance partner for a show that big. So, step on up, Cinderella, who wants a shot to dance with Swerve at the ball.
Burn it down!
Seth Rollins comes out. He goes, "Oh, Swerve, you need to be careful what you wish for, because you may think you run SmackDown, but you don't, because this may look like your house, but this is Seth freaking Rollins' show. So I stare at you with that World Heavyweight Championship, and I know that championship should be mine. Over the last 6 months, I've put my heart on my sleeve, and I've poured my heart out to try and become everything I need to be here on SmackDown, to make it to WrestleMania, to be the face of this brand. And time after time again, I've came up short. And yes, Swerve, you can listen to all this and think, well, why does that entitle me to a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship? Because, Swerve, I need to headline WrestleMania. Okay, so a certain somebody reared his ugly head in this company a month ago and demanded a shot at the main event of WrestleMania because he felt he was owed one. I put that guy in his place, and I should be rewarded for sending him away. You haven't got to worry about having CM Punk leech off your success because of me, Swerve." Ilya Dragunov's music hits. He goes, "Seth, you talk a big game, but can you really back it up in the ring, is what I say. Because if there's one man on this roster who's done everything in his power to prove he deserves a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, it's me. You want to talk about the Royal Rumble, Seth? Well, all I remember is you getting eliminated from that match in about 2 minutes, while the Tsar was the Iron Man. The Tsar came this close to eliminating Gunther and punching my ticket to WrestleMania. And if I had done that, Seth, you wouldn't be standing in this ring right now. It would be me, it would be Swerve, it would be WrestleMania, like it should be." And so he goes, "Hey, wait, this is my show now, my house. So what I say goes. And I'm liking the intensity we got here. So I say, Pierce, Aldous, one of ya, I got your main event tonight standing right in front of me. It's gonna be Seth Rollins versus Ilya Dragunov. And the winner of that match gets to dance with the world champion at WrestleMania." Top rope, catch a vibe. Swerve leaves. So yes, I guess it's official. Our main event tonight on this very stacked episode of SmackDown, Seth Rollins takes on Ilya Dragunov, and the winner goes to WrestleMania to wrestle the World Heavyweight Champion. Seth wants a title shot. He feels like he's owed one. Ilya and Swerve have history. So, yeah. I was going to do this next week, but I've got the gauntlet next week, so, had to rush it and, go, oh yeah, it could be tonight's main event. Then get a quick backstage segment. Daniel Bryan and Daniel Bryan and Pete Dunne, training, because they've got their debut as a tag team tonight. And, well, it's not their debut, actually, they wrestled last week. They've got their next match as a tag team tonight. And Gulak walks in, he's got Oni Lorcan and Dante Rios, his group with him. And he goes, "Hey, I was scouring far and wide for the most apt opponents I could find tonight for the Dragon's Dojo. And I think I've found my boys, Oni Lorcan and Dante Rios." And Bryan just looks at him and goes, "These are your boys?" they look like they need some more whipping into shape, Drew. He goes, "Oh, yeah, that's why I picked them for you tonight. Because, once they get in the ring with the Dragon Dojo boys, that'll up their game as well as yours. It's a win-win for everybody." And Bryan goes, "Yeah, I hope you're right about these guys, Drew." 70-rated match, because it's not very long at all. Daniel Bryan and Pete Dunne do pick up the win over Oney Lorcan and Dante Rios. Bryan submits Dante in 5 minutes 14 seconds. 88 for Pete Dunne, 95 for Daniel Bryan, 64 for Dante Rios, and a 65 for Oney Lorcan. And then after the match, of course, Bryan and Pete are celebrating. Out come Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Like, impressive stuff, when you and your young boy, Miles Bourne, took a swing at the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, and it was impressive. But, the kid, he's still got a lot to learn, and him being under your wing is going to help teach him. But now I see you've upgraded. You got the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne on your side. You got Drew Gulak, 2 former United States champions on your side now, Bryan. Which is going to make it, a lot harder for you if you're looking to get another shot at these SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Which one of your other guys are you going to team with so me and Sami can beat them? Bryan goes, "Oh, you don't get it, Kevin. I don't lose twice. Because if I decide I want to be SmackDown Tag Team Champion, I'll be SmackDown Tag Team Champion." And then, bang, Oney Lorcan and Dante Rios jump Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn from behind, and they just beat him up. And Drew Gulak sort of there, laughing at him, smiling in pride at his boys attacking Kevin Sami. And Bryan sort of watching on as well. He's sort of nodding his head, I see. Maybe these guys do know ball.
Bow down to the queens.
Queendom segment. Out they come, Io, Cammy, Dakota, and Utami. A very pissed off Io Sky, a very dejected Dakota Kai, and Utami, who's got mixed emotions because, she did take out Tegan and Piper earlier on. And Cammy sort of just stands in their head, staring down at the mat. And she goes, "So I heard through the grapevine that the woman to my right, the Joshi Judas, the Women's World Champion, will defend her Women's World Championship at WrestleMania against the winner of a WrestleMania Women's Gauntlet match." Now, obviously, the Genius of the Sky, the one to my right, the Joshi Judas, the Women's World Champion, was always going to take her Women's World Championship into WrestleMania. But she stands here, just your Women's World Champion. Because Queendom, we did hold a lot more gold. But as you saw earlier on tonight, those degenerates, Piper Niven and Tegan Nox, possess what we own, those Women's Tag Team Championships. Now Utami, he steps forward. She goes, "Neither the Genius of the Sky nor myself had requested you to go and, attack Tegan Nox and Piper Niven, but we appreciate the fire, because last week you appeared conflicted as to which side you wanted to join. And it seems now you have decided to be on the right side of history. However," and she turns to Dakota, she goes, "Not everybody's in the Genius of the Sky, the Women's World Champions good books right now. So let's run you back. If you missed Saturday night in the great city of Dublin, the one to my right, the Genius of the Sky, the Joshi Judas, the Women's World Champion, was defending her Women's Tag Team Championships in the main event alongside the second in command, Dakota Kai, against those two traitors. And what happened? Well, the Genius of the Sky ate a foot to the face And now you know what you're thinking, Tegan Nox, she hits hard, she's got that shiny wizard. Oh no, this foot did not belong to Tegan Nox, this foot belonged to the second in command, the so-called deputy. And Dakota's like, look, I'm sorry, I wanted to, we had the match won, and, Tegan, she was beaten, and I was going to finish her off with a kick, and she ducked, and I accidentally kicked Io in the face. I'm sorry. And Cammy's like, well, luckily for you, the Genius of the Sky really likes you a lot. She's really forgiving. Which is why, Dakota, as the deputy, the duty now falls on you, and should it fail, the heir apparent is also in that match to fix things. Next week, the Genius of the Sky is not going to be here because, well, she's earned the week off. But you're in this gauntlet match, this WrestleMania Women's Gauntlet match to determine who will wrestle the Genius of the Sky, the one to my right, the Women's World Champion at WrestleMania 40. And because of you, the Genius of the Sky stands here a championship down. So you need to make it right. You need to win that gauntlet match next week. Prove your loyalty to the Genius of the Sky. And prove that Elimination Chamber was just a fluke and a miscommunication. And then, the following week, we'll sign the Constitution to WrestleMania, where you will agree it's in Queendom's best interest to be defeated by the Genius of the Sky, the Women's World Champion, and Queendom shall continue their reign. Do we have a problem? Dakota goes, well, not at all. Like I said, shit happens. I didn't mean to kick you in the face. And next week I'll win that gauntlet for Queendom. And Utami's looks confused. Like, just glaring a hole through Dakota Kai. And Cammy's like, do you have anything you want to say, Utami? And she sort of just stares across at Dakota, who awkwardly looks back at Utami, looks back at Cammy, just shakes her head, and just sits at the back, like, in the corner. But yes, the pressure is on, bro. Dakota, has to prove her loyalty to Queendom, because, she kind of fucked shit up, at the chamber. So, I guess, shit does happen. And like, you do accidentally kick your partner in the face. I think everybody knows that. But tensions are high in this group right now because they've lost 2 members in the span of 6 weeks. So, who knows where people's loyalties lie. Quick backstage segment. Fallon Henley and Tiffany Stratton, get into a bit of a kerfuffle, setting up a match for right now. I don't really have any details about specifically they're Fallon and Tiffany. They'd argue about just life, just anything. But, it was a match. I needed one more match on the show, so it will do Fallon versus Tiffany up next. Oh, that's not up next. That's later on tonight. God. First of all, we've got the Chase U match. 3 Dev Girls, Lavender Sky, Madeline Fields, and Joanne McGraw taking on Chase U. Of course, Chase U do win when Thea Hale pins Lavender. 73 for Ham, 75 for Morgan, 51 for Thea, 50 for Joanne McGraw, 43 for Madeline, and a 28 for Lavender. And yeah, big win for Chase U girls. They're celebrating their win after the match. When Tony D comes out, he's coming out for his match. He's making his entrance alongside Stax, 2 Dimes, Big Cass, Electra, and Adriana. And they just sort of cross on the ramp, and Thea just glares at him. Because he remembers that this is the son of the bitch who ordered Big Cass to break Brody Hayward's leg. Then just quickly here, we get Seth Rollins' video package, and him narrating over it, his last 6 months, starting from losing to Will Ospreay to now, been the worst run of his career, but tonight is the night he turns it all around, and he punches his ticket to WrestleMania. He defeats Ilya Dragunov, and he challenges for the World Heavyweight Championship. Tournament match. Angelo Dawkins does advance in the tournament. He will face off against Jacob Fatu next week. because Thea Hale comes back out and distracts Tony D'Angelo, and Angelo pins him with a spine buster. 75 for Angelo Dawkins, 46 for Tony D. And yeah, big win for Angelo Dawkins, who will again, face Jacob Fatu next week for 2 weeks time even, to move on to the final in the United States Championship tournament. But Thea, she told Mr. Shea she wasn't going to get in that Tony D'Angelo business, but guess she just saw red tonight. We then get the same thing for Seth, but with Ilya. He goes back to Armageddon when him in that triple threat match with LA Knight and Swerve. He didn't take the fall that night, and he came so close to the Royal Rumble, and tonight he's not coming that close for a second time. Tonight, the Jar will punch his ticket to WrestleMania. For the second straight year, he'll wrestle for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. 100 rated segment. Oro and Jakara come out, the masters of ceremonies, and Oro's like, silence! Shh, you are all in the presence of greatness here today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the official vow renewal ceremony of WWE's greatest married couple, former World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Money in the Bank, Montez Ford, and a former Royal Rumble winner, Women's World Champion, WWE Women's Champion, Miss Bianca Belair, the franchise player. And then out comes Montez Ford in his suit. He stands in the ring. Out comes Bianca in her dress. Big entrances. The ring is all set up for a wedding angle. There's a big cake in the ring, of course, as well. And it goes, well, now all of our guests are here. We can begin the ceremony. And the crowd's obviously booing. And Jakara just all looks around and goes, don't boo. Don't boo true love. Okay, just because none of you will ever have true love. There's no need to boo true love. Okay, continue, Oro. And it goes, first of all, Mr. Ford, your vows, please. He pulls out a sheet of paper. He's takes an obnoxiously long time to read it. Setting up this angle specifically, to be designed where, you're begging for someone to come out and interrupt it because it's taking too long. And Candice does oblige. She walks out onto the stage. And she goes, ugh, are you guys done? This? I was just in the back, training for my gauntlet match next week. The right to become the Women's World Champion again at WrestleMania, and I just can't help all this yapping out here. Actually, that's a lie. I do have another reason to be out here, and it's because I couldn't miss this for the world. Bianca Belair, I'm your biggest fan, and Montez Ford, you've been so nice and good to me for the last 6 months. I thought I would just sit down here and, take in this true moment of true love. Bianca goes, well, girl, we don't want you out here, okay? Go. Shoo. This is our moment. And she's like, yo, I know that you may not be happy in your marriage, and none of these people here will ever know true love either, but this is a beautiful moment, and you're ruining it. Bianca goes, no. Kenneth goes, no, it's fine. I don't think anyone's enjoying it either, really, and I thought I would just come into the stream because I do have something to say. I have a little announcement of my own. Because I'm sure you're all aware that Bianca here has been a pain in my ass for many, many months. And so was her irritating husband right now. Because I guess whatever Bianca does, he does, because I guess he's, on a leash. And he goes, hey, you take that back right now. Okay, I was a World Heavyweight Champion. Okay, me and B are independent, and we do our own thing, and we whoop your ass. Ben goes, yeah, just because you're a lonely loser here on SmackDown, you've got nobody by your side, huh? And Cass just chuckles, like, funny you mentioned that. Out comes Johnny Gargano. He's in his suit as well. He walks to the ring, and he stands side by Candice, across from Montez Ford and Bianca Belair, dressed in their vow renewal dresses and suits, and they're shouting at him to fuck off. Oro and Jakara try to jump them. Johnny super kicks Oro. Candice drop kicks Jakara. And of course, Montez Ford and Bianca Belair do flee the ring. Their big day's been ruined. Johnny Gargano hits one final beat DDT on Oro Mensah, shoves him into the cake. Probably takes a bite out of the cake, like, hey, it's really good. And then throws it on the floor, tries to throw it at Montez Ford. But yes. Well, there's Johnny Gargano here on SmackDown. Golly gee. How did he get here? We then quickly cut backstage. We go to ads after that, come back. Candice and Johnny are there, probably covered in cake, eating cake off Johnny's suit and whatever. And it's like, hey, Johnny, what brings you here to SmackDown? He goes, excellent question, Kayla. Well, isn't it obvious? Over on Raw, DIY, they were on top of the world. Me and Tommaso were doing our thing, but then Tommaso, he got corrupted by Aleister Black and his weird little cult going on over there, so I sort of left with nobody over on Raw. And Candice, she was left with nobody over here on SmackDown. And it just so happened that Trick Williams, he wanted to be over on Raw really bad. So, a trade was orchestrated. I'm sure you all saw Trick Williams on Raw. Well, you're looking at the newest member of Friday Night SmackDown. And Tez, I keep hearing, because I'm watching Candice every single week, I keep hearing all the stuff you've said about me. Remember the Rumble when I eliminated you from that match? I'd keep my mouth shut if I was you. Excellent cake, by the way. Great ceremony. But then, that segment of the scenario is, Johnny and Candice walk off screen. But, we continue to linger backstage, and we just sort of, turn them because we hear a commotion. Big Cass has got Thea Hale pinned up against the wall. And Tony D'Angelo and Rizzo were, shouting at her. And it's like, hey, what did we tell you, hey? We said stay out of our business, okay? Here you are sticking your nose in our business, okay? So you gotta learn to pay the consequences for that, capiche? And then she's screaming, no, put me down. And Andre Chase goes, what the heck is going on here? And he goes, hey, Mr. Chase, I thought we were done here, okay? I got my payments for you. But now your little pipsqueak of a student is up in here causing a mess in my business, costing me matches, costing me title opportunities, costing me money, costing me WrestleMania paydays. Do you not remember what happened to your boy Bodie and where he is right now? This little pipsqueak will be next. And now, we're going to take down your whole little university. Let's go, Cass. And Big Cass walks off. And Keith Lee's in the background just shaking his head, looking down at Thea and goes, oh, Miss Hale, you sure do know how to cause a bit of a situation around here, don't you? It's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Chase, I had to. And he goes, stop it. I see what we're in for now, Thea. I don't appreciate you disobeying me, but we've got to fight for Chase University's life. There's a 63 rated match. Tiffany Stratton against Fallon Henley. Tiffany does win in 9:39 with a PME. 69 for Tiffany, 54 for Fallon. And yeah, big win. Well, not big win, but a win for Tiffany. Next week, we've got a pretty stacked episode of SmackDown. A lot of, championship implications on the show. Including, as we announced, just after Elimination Chamber, the WrestleMania Women's Gauntlet is next week. Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Utami Hayashishita, and Asuka all fighting it out for the right to go to WrestleMania and challenge Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. Plus, the United States Championship, I guess all this side of the bracket takes place as David Martin takes on Drew Gulak. Of course, Gulak, a former United States Champion in his own right, as well as Nebo Barnes of the Revolution taking on whoever this 8th participant is that Aldous doesn't seem to want to name. 99 rated main event. This might be the best episode of SmackDown of all time. A lot of fun segments plus this. But Ilya Dragunov wins clean. He just pins Seth Rollins clean with a H-bomb to, I guess, punch his ticket to WrestleMania to wrestle Swerve Scott. 88 for Ilya, 91 for Seth. So, I've made a lot of, I've mentioned it a couple of times, but I've never outright stated it on video. the SmackDown portion of the WrestleMania card received Brock Lesnar related shakeups over the last couple of weeks. And this was one of them. Because I'm going to, again, completely blow up kayfabe and say the original plan I had of WrestleMania's world title match was going to be LA Knight defending against Daniel Bryan. Because it's like 10 years on from the Yes movement against the Yeah movement, and I thought that was fun. But then I brought The Rock in. The Rock was actually going to come in and face Swerve, but The Rock was going to be a babyface originally. Then I really wanted to do heel Rock, because they did heel Rock in real life. And heel Rock versus LA Knight felt like the match. So that happened, and then everything else got moved about. Ilya Dragunov was going to team with Brock Lesnar against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That can't happen. So, everyone sort of just got moved around. But I like that I eventually landed on Ilya and Swerve as the world title match, because while it may not have the most backstory going into it, it will A, be the fucking best match, because, it's Swerve versus Ilya Dragunov, and B, they've both sort of been like the highlights of SmackDown on the men's side over the last 6 months. So, I'm glad that that's the championship match. The only problem, which I will now straight up just say on camera, is who's going over. Because it'll only be a 6-week Swerve title run against Ilya Dragunov, who probably should win, but I'm still tossing it up. But, yes, that is the match Swerve Scott against Ilya Dragunov for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. And of course, they have a face down at ringside. But Seth Rollins is still in the ring having a tantrum. This is bullshit. He should be the World Heavyweight Champion. It should be his WrestleMania this year. We hear a little whoa from the crowd. Because Big Phil, he was here after all. He slides into the ring and he drops Seth Rollins with a GTS. He orders for a microphone. He sits cross-legged next to Seth Rollins' down body. He goes, "Hey Seth, you're going to WrestleMania against me." Pipe bomb. And that's how this episode of SmackDown goes off the air. 96 rated show, yeah. Very good episode of SmackDown if I do say so myself. A lot of moving parts here. But it's only going to get better next week because we've got that gauntlet match. So yeah. But I will now see on the other side of Velocity where... Is it the final? Is it Axiom versus Ricochet this week? Or is it the... Or if I just spoil that Ricochet's going to the final. Anyway, Velocity on the other side. Velocity kicks off with trios action. The trios champions haven't appeared on Velocity in a while. Jorge Santana Rush and Santos Escobar of LA Extreme. They face off against Evan Bourne, Angelico, and Ty Marley. I think Evan Bourne and Angelico have both teamed with Terminal Velocity before in the past. And apparently Toby Marley must be injured because I couldn't pick him for some reason. I know, doesn't sound like a member of Top Flight to be hurt, but yeah. Escobar pins Angelico over Phantom Driver in 14:23. 87 for Rush, 70 for Jorge, 74 for Escobar, 70 for Ty, 71 for Evan Bourne, and 72 for Angelico. Yeah, 81 is a pretty good match for that. And then after the match, LA Extreme is celebrating when they're interrupted by Drew Gulak, Dante Rios, and Oni Lorcan. I know we've just seen Dante and Oni in action, and I don't normally like to have them double up on tapings. If they've worked Raw or SmackDown, they don't work Heat and Velocity. But this week felt different. This felt like a week I should probably have them work Velocity as well. But Gulak comes out and he says, "Hey, you may be the trios champions, but we're raising our stakes here. When I become United States champion after winning the WrestleMania tournament, we're going to be looking to add more gold to this lineup. So Dante and Oni are going to win this tag match coming up next, and you better, you and Dirty Dom better keep an eye on the Drew Gulak crew." 70 rating, yeah, sure. And Oni and Dante do win. Oni submits Lewis Booty with a half stranglehold. 58 for Lewis Booty, 47 for Ryan Booty, 64 for Oni, and a 71 for Dante. And yeah, they're picking up a win. And then the main event is the final. I didn't spoil it. I'm pretty sure it was the final this week. And it is Axiom against Ricochet. Gets an 88. Yeah, there we go. Fucking banger. Let's go Velocity. But I guess technically in kayfabe an upset, but you know where the story's going. Axiom defeats Ricochet in the final to win the Cruiserweight Championship match. 64 for Axiom, 92 for Ricochet. And yeah. So Axiom has a Cruiserweight Championship match against Sensei now officially lined up in the chamber. And apparently has to wrestle Joe Gacy on Raw to prove himself. So, yeah. Yeah, but that does end Velocity, which gets us an 84 rating. What matters more is what you thought of the show, mainly of SmackDown. Do let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for Raw, which will feature, the triple threat main event to crown Becky Lynch's challenger at WrestleMania. See you then.